Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're taking a closer look at Transocean.
Ticker symbol ERG.
Yeah, rig.
That's the one.
We've pulled together some analyses from pretty recently,
Mm-hmm.
just to try to figure out what's been going on with its stock price.
As of March 11th, 2025.
Right, exactly.
So kind of a snapshot in time
Exactly.
of where things stand.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting to look at rig, particularly
Yeah.
in the context of what's been going on in the market lately. We've had, quite a bit of volatility
Oh, yeah.
with, concerns about potential economic slowdown,
Mm-hmm. Tariffs.
tariffs, yeah, all this kind of uncertainty swirling around.
It makes it tricky, right?
Yeah, and for a company like Transocean,
Mm-hmm.
which operates in offshore drilling,
Right.
these broader market trends
Definitely.
really have a big impact on how we should be looking at its performance.
Absolutely. So much is tied to the overall economic outlook.
Yeah, so what we're going to try to do today is extract
Mm-hmm.
the most important insights we can about rig's recent performance and potential opportunities.
Without,
Without getting too...
drowning in the numbers.
Yeah.
Just the key takeaways.
So let's start by taking a look at the recent price action of the stock.
Okay. Sounds good.
So as of March 11th, rig closed at 2.98,
Mm-hmm.
unchanged from the day before.
Holding steady for the moment.
Right.
But if we zoom out a little bit, back in mid-February, the stock was trading around 3.74.
Okay.
So that's roughly a 20% drop
Wow.
to get to that 2.98 mark by March 11th.
Okay, so that's a pretty significant decline.
Yeah, it's definitely something to take note of.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't, just a straight line down.
Right now, not at all. There was that notable jump on March 7th.
Right.
The stock price increased by about 8 or 9% that day, reaching 3.04.
Okay.
But then it pulled back down to the 2.98.
So what do you make of that kind of sharp increase followed by a retreat?
Well, it often points to some short-term momentum at play.
Yes.
Maybe some traders jumping in on a bit of news and then taking profits.
Right. So short-term volatility.
Exactly.
Now, what about if we take a much longer view? What does the kind of bigger picture look like over the past year?
Well, over the past year, the stock has actually fallen by a considerable amount, about 52.5%.
Okay.
And it's currently trading pretty close to its 52-week low.
So even though we're seeing these, sort of shorter-term fluctuations,
Right.
it's important to keep in mind that kind of longer-term downtrend.
It absolutely provides context for these shorter-term movements.
Right. So a bit of a bumpy ride for rig over the past year.
Yeah, you could say that.
So what are some of the key things that are driving these price movements?
Well, one major factor that really stands out is Transocean's contract backlog.
Okay.
They currently have about $8.3 billion worth of contracts,
That's a lot.
which is one of the largest in the entire offshore drilling sector.
Mm-hmm.
This gives the company a really solid base of revenue going forward.
Okay, so even though the price has been volatile, they have this kind of strong underlying business.
Right, that backlog provides some security in a sense.
Can you give us an example of some of these contracts?
Sure, let's take the Diversify Deepwater KG1 contract in India.
Mm-hmm.
That one has a day rate of $410,000.
Okay.
And it runs through November 2027.
Wow, so that's pretty far out.
Yeah, it is. And then you have the Transocean Enabler and the Transocean Endurance with day rates of $428,000 and $390,000 respectively.
Okay, so those are all really strong day rates.
Yeah, they are. And they show the kind of value that Transocean brings to its customers.
Right, so that backlog is definitely a positive.
It is. It gives them a lot of visibility in terms of future earnings.
Okay, what about the market sentiment side of things? We talked about how the market's been volatile.
Right. Well, the price jump we saw on March 7th,
Uh-huh.
that seems to be connected to a broader sense of optimism in the oil and gas sector.
Okay.
When that sector does well, it often lifts up related industries like offshore drilling.
Right, so a rising tide lift all boats kind of thing.
Exactly. There's also been a lot of speculation going on. We saw a spike in call option volumes.
And those are essentially bets that the stock price will go up, right?
That's right. And the short interest in the stock is quite high, about 19% or 148.5 million shares.
Okay. And that's people betting that the price will go down.
Correct. And when you have that much short interest, it creates the potential for a short squeeze.
And just to remind our listeners, what's a short squeeze again?
So a short squeeze is when a lot of investors who are betting against the stock, they're forced to buy it back to cover their positions.
Okay.
And that buying pressure can push the price up really quickly.
Gotcha. So it can create these sudden jumps in price.
Yeah, exactly. It can get pretty wild.
Okay, interesting. Now, we talked about those broader market declines in early March,
Right.
with the Nasdaq and the Dow dropping due to those tariff fears.
The economic slowdown worries.
Right. Did that have an impact on RIG?
Yeah, it most likely did. Even when a company has good news, that kind of overall market anxiety can weigh on individual stocks.
Right, because investors are just generally more risk averse.
Exactly. They might pull back from even companies with solid fundamentals.
Okay, so even with the positive backlog, that market uncertainty was still a factor.
It seems that way.
And what about Transocean's actual financial performance? What did their earnings look like?
Well, their Q4 2024 earnings were a bit of a mixed bag.
Okay.
They reported an adjusted net loss per share, which was below what analysts were expecting.
Okay, so not great news on that front.
Not on the surface, but they did have strong adjusted EBITDA and healthy margins.
So some positives there.
Yeah, their core operations seem to be doing pretty well.
Interesting. And you mentioned that their backlog decreased a bit.
Right. It went from $9.3 billion down to $8.3 billion. And that did cause some initial concern in the market.
Yeah, a shrinking backlog doesn't sound ideal.
No, it doesn't. But it's important to note that their fleet utilization is almost at capacity.
Okay.
Through mid-2026.
Okay, so they're keeping busy.
They are,
Yeah.
and they're also implementing technological improvements.
So these are things that could potentially mitigate that backlog decline.
Exactly. Those positives help to balance out some of the worries.
Okay, so when we zoom out and look at the industry as a whole, what are the analysts saying?
Well, there's an interesting idea gaining some traction.
Okay.
Some analysts, like Troels Olsen from Fearnley, are suggesting that we could be entering an offshore drilling super cycle.
A super cycle, what does that mean?
Basically, it means a prolonged period of high demand and high prices.
Oh, wow.
So much more optimistic than some earlier reports that were pointing to a more challenging environment in Q4.
Like maybe higher costs.
Yeah, and less favorable day rates for new contracts.
Okay, so a potential super cycle? That's pretty exciting.
It would be a major shift for the industry.
Right, and what about the overall analyst sentiment on ERG right now?
The general consensus seems to be a hold rating.
Okay, so not necessarily a strong buy or sell?
Right. But the average price target is significantly higher than where the stock is trading now.
Interesting. So that suggests there might be some upside potential.
There could be. But, of course, there are always risks.
Right.
Analysts are concerned about the company's debt level and the possibility of oil prices declining.
Which would obviously impact the profitability of those contracts.
Exactly.
Okay, so a mixed bag in terms of the analyst outlook.
You could say that.
All right, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the technical analysis.
Okay. Sounds good.
So what are the charts telling us about RIG?
Well, technically speaking, RIG is trading below both its estimated 50-day and 200-day simple moving averages.
And that's generally considered a bearish signal.
Right. It suggests a downward trend.
Okay.
And it's also likely that we've seen a death cross formation.
Death cross, now that sounds ominous.
Yeah, it's not the most encouraging term.
So what does that mean in plain English?
Basically, the 50-day moving average has dropped below the 200-day moving average.
Okay.
Which reinforces that longer-term downtrend we were talking about.
Gotcha. So from a technical perspective, things aren't looking too rosy.
Not at the moment, no.
But there was that positive divergence in the relative strength index, or RSI.
Right. The RSI likely bounced from oversold territory in early March.
Okay.
Which probably contributed to that price increase we saw. But now it's back in a more neutral range.
Okay, so not giving us a strong buy or sell signal at this point.
I'm no more like a wait and see.
Okay. Now, are there any particular price levels that investors should be paying attention to?
Yeah, there are some key support levels to watch around 2.68 and 2.55.
Okay.
If the stock price drops below those levels, it could signal further weakness. On the upside, there's resistance around 3.7 and then higher up at 3.50.
So if the price can break above those levels, that would be a positive sign.
It would suggest that the buyers are gaining control.
Okay. And anything else interesting from a chart perspective?
Well, there's a chance that a short-term double bottom pattern is forming.
Okay.
Around that 2.68 level. And if that pattern plays out, it could lead to a price reversal.
So potentially a move back to the upside.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so a lot to watch on the technical front.
Definitely.
So given all this information about RIG's situation,
Right.
what are some of the investment opportunities that people are talking about?
Well, the analyses we looked at presented a few different perspectives.
Wow.
One is a short-term trading strategy based on that high short interest and the recent price momentum.
Okay.
The idea here is to try to capitalize on a potential short squeeze or a temporary price recovery.
So a quick in and out kind of trade.
Right. The suggested entry point would be around the current price of 2.98,
Okay.
with a stop loss below the 2.68 support level.
To limit potential losses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the target would be somewhere in the 3.30 to 3.50 range.
Okay. But obviously this is a high-risk approach.
Definitely. Short-term trading is always risky.
Right. So high reward potential, but also high risk.
Exactly.
What's another way to look at RIG from an investment perspective?
Well, another perspective is to view it as a long-term value investment.
Okay.
This is based on the idea that the stock is undervalued compared to its historical highs, and that the offshore drilling market will eventually recover.
Okay, so this is more of a bet on the long-term fundamentals of the company.
Right. The idea would be to accumulate shares at prices below $3,
Okay.
with a longer-term price target of $5 to $6.
So a patient investor approach.
Yeah. But of course, there are risks with this strategy, too.
Right.
The company could continue to report losses, and oil prices could decline further.
Which would make it harder for them to hit those price targets.
Exactly.
Okay, and there was one more angle that we saw in the analysis.
Right, the contrarian sector bet.
Yeah, so explain that one for us.
Well, this idea hinges on the possibility that the broader market continues to decline, maybe due to weakness in the tech sector or something.
Okay.
And the thinking is that energy stocks like Transocean, which are more tied to the oil market, could potentially hold up better.
Okay.
And even act as a hedge against those broader market declines.
Interesting. So a way to diversify away from some of the risk in other sectors.
All right. And this strategy suggests considering other energy sector players as well.
Okay, so spreading the risk around.
Yeah, exactly.
So it sounds like Transocean stock is really at a crossroads right now.
It does. It's being influenced by all these different factors.
Right. You have the positive underlying strength of that backlog, but then you have the short-term speculative activity and the uncertainty in the broader market.
It's a complex picture.
Yeah. And for investors, there are a few different ways to approach it.
Definitely. You have the short-term traders looking for quick gains. The long-term value investors betting on a recovery.
Right.
And then the contrarian investors seeking a hedge against market weakness.
And each of these approaches has its own risks and rewards.
Absolutely. It all depends on your individual investment goals and risk tolerance.
Right. So for everyone listening, we've laid out the different perspectives on Transocean. We've looked at the recent price action,
The fundamentals.
the technicals, the analyst sentiment.
The whole 9 yards.
Now, the question for you is this. What do you think is the biggest potential catalyst or risk for Transocean going forward?
It's something to ponder.
Yeah, something to keep in mind as you continue to follow the market.
Absolutely.
If you enjoyed today's discussion, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment.
We appreciate your support.
We'll see you next time.